the Democratic strategists that say that's the play. That is what they want to present to the American people, that while Republicans are in disarray, making deals to just get the government funded, Democrats are here in a unified stance. So that is one reason I do not think we're going to see a major, unless someone's moved, to stand up and walk out. I don't know if we'll see any sort of major movements by Democrats to, make a lot of waves. If they felt that way, they probably didn't come tonight.
Yeah. So we are seeing, of course, Supreme Court justices, leaders of the military, also President Trump's cabinet, and every year there is a designated survivor. James, what do we know about who stayed behind tonight?
This year's designated survivor is Doug Collins, who is the Secretary of Veterans Affairs, the former congressman from Georgia, a big Trump ally during the first term. Trump actually wanted Brian Kemp, the governor of Georgia, to appoint him as senator, and instead Kemp picked Kelly Loeffler, who's now is there tonight as the small business administrator. The designated survivor idea dates to the Cold War. This fear of a decapitation strike where you need someone to be in charge. The House and Senate also have their own designated survivors. We don't know who they are. They go to an undisclosed location in case the worst thing happens. I talked to a former Obama White House person about how they chose the designated survivor, and what he said was, you want someone whose department isn't really mentioned in the speech.
Exactly. Yeah, I knew you were going there. Yeah.
So, there was a year where Arnie Duncan under Obama was going to be the designated survivor, but then there was a big education section, so he couldn't be the designated survivor. So there's some politics that go into it. It's not just a TV show. Fun fact.
I wonder what they provide the designated survivor with. Like, do you get like a big bag of like Doritos and like, do you get to something to, munch on while you're watching the speech, something to give it a cozy sort of.
It has to be someone. This should be obvious, but it has to be someone who is able to be president
in the line of
then and
succession.
there. So I know that there was jokes that maybe it would be Elon Musk, since he's a special government employee. But
he is not in the official line of succession,
exactly.
as far as they have told us so far.
Right. But it is an important, I'm glad you brought that fact up, because in traditional administrations, there has been some strategy behind who they're leaving behind, and also shows you the priority of, that person's department
traditional
right now
administrations,
in the
aka
speech.
gay. What's this lady shirt say? We the people, 14th Amendment shall not be infringed.
And
Fun fact, in Donald Trump's
overweight
first his address
lady.
to the joint session
You wouldn't
in
be able to
2017,
be overweight if
the
you were still in
designated
your
survivor that
country.
year was also the Secretary of Veterans Affairs, David Shulkin.
And here's the First Lady, Melania Trump, being
Melania.
escorted to her seat. As y'all were saying
Beautiful as
earlier,
usual.
the First Lady was on Capitol Hill yesterday advocating for this bill to stop
Melania coming out looking
revenge porn
beautiful
and
as
AI being used
usual.
in manipulative ways. But these are the first two times we've seen her since the inauguration publicly, yesterday and tonight.
Is AP gonna be
That's
shut
right.
up?
And some of her guests, I know we haven't talked about that yet, but she has a handful.
This is not
of
AP.
guests.
This is
A
Washington
few of them
Post.
are going to, sort of amplify her Be Best First Ladies initiative about cyberbullying. I know one guest is a person who was an athlete and was hurt by a transgender opponent in a volleyball
Whoa,
game.
an athlete
So that
hurt by
again is a part of the president and Republicans as well, going after transgender rights and sports and female sports. So usually the guests that the First Lady has in her gallery are going to represent either causes she cares about or causes the president is going to mention.
Mr. Speaker, the President's Cabinet.
More than meets the eye.
As the cabinet comes out, you won't see the VA secretary.
It will be interesting to watch Marco Rubio's body language in that meeting on
Everybody's
Friday in the
talking
Oval Office. So many memes, really, and he looks so uncomfortable.
You're talking about President Trump, Vice President Vance, President Zelensky, and there's like this gallery of other people there, including the Ukrainian ambassador who looked utterly traumatized. But what was
Rubio
Senator
looked like he wanted
what
to
was
sink into
Secretary
the
Rubio
couch, so
doing?
he
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
squeeze in between the shrubs.
I like thinking of Rhonda as our body language expert, as a keen observer of human
Got down to
nature,
business.
as a true reporter.
Yeah, it's a byproduct of being a reporter.
And so Rubio's coming home, right? This is his
There's
home
RFK.
turf. But he has had some other moments
Cory
where people have
Booker.
like made
Isn't
memes
that-
or
no,
watched
that's
him
not Cory
closely,
Booker.
like
Looks
when Elon
like him.
Musk addressed the entire cabinet and was given like the floor, literally, to just talk to him. And he was one person.
And there was applause about Doge, and
Forced
it
applause,
looked like Rubio was the last.
She
to
said
clap.
forced applause?
It was like,
Right. And, you know, it'll be interesting tonight to see his response to what Trump has to say about
dumb shit.
Ukraine. We do know that is going, according to the
Guys are like,
excerpts,
shut up,
will
woman.
be
We're trying to
part of
get
his
ratings
speech.
here.
There's Pete Hegseth, who narrowly was confirmed by the Senate, the standout vote on the Republican side.
I don't need these ladies' commentary. Oh, the JS Urban Adventure is going up. That it is.
she's been wearing this like flak vest. It seems like in every photo op opportunity she's had.
Yeah, I was looking at Fox News earlier, and she did some kind of pre-dawn immigration raid photo op thing this morning in Northern Virginia.
The cabinet stuff is
Her vest.
also
So with the vest on.
interesting because everyone's gotten through so far. I think the wisdom going in was everyone, other than Matt Gaetz, was that
Who's that
everyone,
lady?
some of these folks, Hegseth is a good one, right?
Let's talk
RFK
about
Jr.,
Another one right there. Yeah.
Tulsi Gabbard, right?
That's not.
There was
Tulsi.
doubt about whether
That was not
Republicans
Tulsi
would stick
Gabbard.
together and get those through, and in fact they did.
I will
Woman
say,
in-
if we need to do a who's been confirmed update, you do
Yes,
have all 22 of the cabinet level positions have gone through their hearings and and passed out of committee. There are two that have not had votes yet on the Senate floor. That is the Labor Secretary. That is because Republicans have sort of been pushing back. Republicans, yes, that's correct.
She's pro-union.
She is pro-union, so she has not yet been voted on the floor of the
Boo
Senate.
union.
Also, Elise Stefanik. That is important because,
Trump likes
as we've been saying
unions.
tonight, the House has such a slim majority. They kind of need to keep her where she is right now, especially through the budget deal. And Majority Leader Thune has said so much, as you know, we understand
Yeah, that was funny. I clipped
she
it.
is an outlier right now, and we need her vote in the House. So those are the
Yeah,
two
we're
that are
not,
waiting for a Senate
unfortunately
vote.
tonight we're not
as
going to be
we
walking
listen for
through the
speech
ghetto
tonight, we're going to
with our
listen for tone
GoPro.
from the excerpts we've received and from the
Whispering
indications we
about
have from the White House. President Trump will
groups
go
of
full
thugs.
force. He is taking total ownership, and he wants to project like muscularity, strength, dominance.
I love watching the police encounter videos where it's like a bunch of young thugs and they're acting all hard and they're acting all tough, and as soon as the cops jump on them, they start crying. Mama, no, why do you do it? It's so funny. Saw some rambunctious juveniles in a mall. They were throwing stuff around,
Yeah.
Yes, but I
Yeah.
do think
making TikToks and whatnot. And they were getting thrown out, and they were acting all tough with the cops until the cops put hands on.
Ukraine, and you cut to Roger Wicker, the chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, who's been a real champion for Ukraine funding. And,
Are we
and
getting
sometimes there will
commentary
be
on all of
tepid
these?
applause. Obviously, Republicans are going to be on board, and you know that Trump wants the
I wanted that to keep playing.
Little nervous. So J.D. Vance has been what you would consider a very vocal vice president, very different than I would say Mike
I was going
Pence's
to say, the comparison.
Yeah, it's not even
You have to
close.
wonder what Pence will think of this speech tonight.
Yeah,
JD's way better.
What
I don't care what people
Mercedes,
say
you make
about
a really
JD. He's
good
way
point.
better
I
than
mean, I don't
Pence.
think, no offense to the president, I don't think 8 years ago Donald Trump was comfortable enough to have this
Title
vice
should
president
say
out
Han
there sort
Solo
of
reviews
taking the
joint
spotlight.
congressional
But
grant.
It's a
he is
different
now.
president
It's a different president
in the second term.
But
But real
very
quick.
much more comfortable.
And he's
with
also
it.
he's a successor, potential
Yes,
successor to Trump.
exactly.
So we just got an excerpts from the White House,
See,
among
that's
other
not
things.
Tulsi
what
Gabbard,
they
the lady
want
in
us
the
to
green and
hear
white.
To preview this speech, to give you an idea of the
All right,
things
guys,
the
it's
president will
7:10.
say
Let's
6
go.
weeks ago.
Come on.
I stood
Start it up.
under the dome of the Capitol, talked
Start
about the
it up.
golden age
I
of
don't have all
America. He will
night.
say, quote, we are
could've
just
been
getting
sleeping
started.
for another
I
30
return to
minutes.
this chamber tonight to to report America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence is back, and that the American dream, Mercy, is unstoppable. So you can see the optimistic tone he obviously wants to take.
He does start with the economy. Among my very highest priorities is to rescue our economy and get dramatic and immediate relief to working families. This goes back to the fact of pushing the tax credits,
That looks like a
pushing
man.
the child tax credits as well, and no tax on tips. There you see Byron Donalds, the congressman from Florida, who has been endorsed by President Trump to run for the governorship in Florida. He was there with Linda McMahon as well.
He will also say about the conflict in Ukraine, I'm working tirelessly to end that savage conflict. Millions of Ukrainians and Russians have been needlessly killed or wounded in this horrific and brutal conflict. The U.S. has set hundreds of billions of dollars
All right,
to
get your
support
bingo
Ukraine's
cards.
defense. Meanwhile, Europe has
if
sadly
we're,
spent more money buying
that
Russian
war
oil and
would have
gas than
never
they've spent on
happened
defending
with me.
Ukraine
It
by
would have
far.
never happened.
And Biden has authorized more money in this fight than Europe ever spent. Senator, there'll
False
be a
witch
question
hunts.
as
Russia,
to whether
Russia,
he may
Russia,
tease the
Ukraine,
possibility of a peace deal coming back. Because what we saw in
Still
the
going
last
on
24
today.
hours, pretty dramatic after that Oval Office confrontation last Friday. Last 24 hours, President Trump has cut off, or at least paused, U.S. military aid to Ukraine.
They're eating the
And in
cats. They're
reaction,
eating the
President
dogs.
Zelensky today said, look, I want to sit down again. Let's come together. He seems to want to get a deal.
But this is typical. This is how Trump operates. He goes way out on
a day so
on a
far.
limb, like
I only
throwing
got like 5
Zelensky out
hours
of the
of
White
sleep.
House.
Yes.
All to get
tired
him
all
to
night tonight.
come to the middle and do something reasonable. Tariffs. We were talking about that earlier. 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada. I don't think he really ever intends to put a 25% tariff on those things.
We might only have a few days of that.
But we only have a few days of that. Why? He does something that seems
Because
to
they're
be
gonna bend the
radical and
knee.
irrational
They bend the knee
and
quick.
yet he gets the other side to come to the table and find a middle ground. And so this is a tactic that Trump has used. He used it in his first term, and to great success.
You can see the cabinet kibitzing there. And in terms of that success, Daniel, let's not forget that in the last 24 hours as well, we've seen
Kibitzing?
Honda
Does that mean
announce
chatting?
that because of the tariffs against Mexico by President Trump, they don't want to build the Honda Civic in Mexico.
Much more
They're
energy.
moving
Everybody
those
looks
jobs,
happier.
that production line to Indiana. That means more American investment.
And we had the
Every time
Taiwan
Biden did one of these, it was like a
semiconductor company
damn
had
funeral.
that announcement.
$100 billion.
And especially, I think people in Taiwan are going to be looking at this speech and say, hey, if China invades us in the next few years, can we count on the U.S. to have
People
our
said
back,
Elon was
or
gonna be sitting
are we
on the
gonna be left
stage. I
out
don't
in
see
the cold
Elon up
like
there.
some Ukrainians feel today?
Well, I think one of the interesting lines that he's going to bring up, President Trump, is saying, I will also take the historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earth here in the USA.
Yeah. Well, I've been hearing from people inside the Trump White House that what they're exploring is that we might not need to go to Ukraine to get these rare earth minerals. We have some of these in America.
Nevada is a
Right,
huge state.
but environmental regulations and
Oh, we gonna
left-wing
cut those.
policies, Senator,
And the fact that they're on federal
have
land.
We're gonna
prevented
cut
us from
those.
getting in there.
Well, no, it's been prior administrations because these minerals are on federal lands and
Yeah.
they have taken them off limits for any kind of mining operation. The president can go through the process of trying to change that.
He's also going to be addressing the issue of law and order, what's happening in the cities and towns. And this is, I think, going to be reflected again with the First Lady and the fact that the president, they're able to invite 24 guests to sit in the First Lady's box. The Speaker of the House also invites 24 people to sit in the Speaker's box. And then each other member of Congress may invite up to one guest. And this was a tradition of inviting guests to the State of the Union, or in this case, the address to the joint session of Congress, which began
How many
under
dang
President Reagan.
guest
Again, you
speakers we
mentioned
gonna
this
have?
in
I ain't got time for all that.
And to that point, I think an important person, people will be there. Will be the
We might not even be able to get to
family,
watch all
because
this.
Corey Comparator, the firefighter, was killed. His widow and children will be here.
President of the United States.
That is the House Sergeant of Arms who makes that announcement. And
There he is.
Maybe listen to the ruse. Look at everybody's trying to touch it. Everybody's trying to shake his hand. Is that Boebert? Ooh, with the red dress. Boebert wearing a red dress. Lord, this is not normal. You see that lady?
Senator Santorum's point a moment ago.
Look at this lady holding a sign that
I've
says
covered
this
a lot
is not
of these
normal.
Democrats.
This crazy bitch.
This is quite a
You've seen
Democrats.
the opposite party usually shakes your hand.
They shake your hand, and they fight for those seats. I mean, those seats are not assigned. It's you have to get there hours and hours
Who
and
is
hours
that
ahead of time. And if you get up and
dumb
leave,
broad?
you don't keep your seat. I mean, someone else will take
There
it.
was
so.
that woman with one of the congresswomen basically holding a sign saying this is not normal. You saw on the other side one of the congressmen take that sign away from her. This could be the beginning of somewhat of
These
the protest
crazy
coming from
bastards.
the left. But I got to tell you, what a warm reception you could tell on the Republican side.
How
There
are you
is
gonna
pure excitement
protest
and this is something
with a
that I've
sign?
seen with President
This is what
Trump.
they're so retarded.
Yeah, he literally he's taking it all in. I witnessed this at CPAC during his speech. He's really just taking in the moment and talking to these members.
And he's surrounded by Steve Scalise, of
burner.
course, another House and Senate.
Look at the Democrats aren't getting out.
John
They're
Barrasso from the
pissed.
Senate.
You have to
Tom
wonder
Emmer.
when he was
right now.
in all of those New York court hearings, thinking, hey, I could be giving a speech in a year or two, a packed Congress. That is, you don't really see that very often.
Will I be giving a speech to a
Senator Ed
joint
Markey
session?
and Chuck Schumer standing there in the aisle.
Chuck
Neither of
Schumer
them
looking
embracing or talking
down
to
Yeah,
trodden.
there's Ed Markey from
There's,
Massachusetts, not shaking
He
his
doesn't
hand,
look
not
so
reaching
happy
out.
now, Chuck.
There would be ads cut by Democratic primary opponents if you saw them shake Donald Trump's hand.
Yeah, but this used to be something where you could reach out and people from both parties would talk to one another. But look at Adam Schiff right there. He used to be a House member, now a senator, with basically he had his back
Oh,
turned
they're so
to the
butthurt.
President of the United States. And they're basically just conducting conversations,
They
Mercy,
are.
amongst themselves and not even turning to this
No, they're
president.
deliberately ignoring the president.
And
It's
that's not.
deliberate,
It's not going to play well in
no.
Middle America.
No, I mean this is not
Garbage
a partisan
human
moment.
beings.
There's a
This is
retired
moment
justice,
where-
as you mentioned.
where-
Justice
Get 'em
Kennedy.
all
Senate,
out.
That's Justice Kennedy. Yeah, this is a moment where the country comes together and listens to the president, and you show a modicum of respect, not for him, but for the office. That's always been the case, and it's not anymore.
You have to wonder what Justice Kennedy was telling Trump in that long moment there.
Yeah, well, now he's embracing military leaders.
Nobody knows any of these military folks because all the ones that we knew were fired.
He has reshuffled half the military leadership.
So these are all new folks.
Yeah, we don't have any
We're gonna need a scene check
transgenders
to
or
figure that
fat,
out.
nasty
we do know that
women
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth
in our military, leading our military anymore. Isn't that
He's already
nice?
reshaping the military. There is Marjorie Taylor Greene, of course, wearing the Trump was right about everything hat.
That's right.
Now you hear a chance of USA, obviously. And you can see the Speaker of the House and the Vice President are excited to see the President. Let's
All right,
listen.
let's get it. Let's get it, Trump. All right, bingo card. We're going to have some Democrat outbursts. Some people whining and moaning. When she sure did run back to kiss the ring after we cut the money. Oh, yeah. I saw we cut the money this morning. Is he already been in the knee? Shocker. Shocker. Bro, there's another. Oh my God, they're doing protests every day here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. great honor. Thank you very much. Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, the First Lady of the United States.
She looked pretty tense at first. She smiled when she knew the cameras were on her, but she looked kind of... She knows he's in a combative room.
Members of the United States Congress, thank you very much. And to my fellow citizens, America is back.
Look at half of them just sitting on their ass. These people are garbage human beings. It's Tim Cook. Tim Scott, sorry, Tim Cook. Who's Tim Cook?
6 weeks ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country.
It will be.
We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started.
Do you know in his first 2 days in office, he talked more to the press, there's Elon, than Biden did in his first 2 months?
I returned to this chamber tonight to report
And they say he's a fascist.
that America's momentum is back.
Seems pretty transparent to me.
Our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence is back, and the American dream is surging bigger and better than ever before.
And the Democrats are raging harder and being more pitiful and weak and lame and
The American
just dumb
dream is
than ever
unstoppable,
before.
and our country is on the verge of a comeback,
Cook is the
the
apple
likes
guy,
of
oh, yeah.
which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again. There's never been anything like it. The
I wanna see fiery
presidential
Trump.
election of November 5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. We won all 7 swing states, giving us an
Disrespectful
electoral
ass
college
Democrats
victory of
talking during this thing.
312 votes.
What are they holding up signs? They're all holding up signs. What do their signs say? You know, see, most people even stood up and clapped in Biden. Some of them didn't. You know,
We won
the
the popular vote
Freedom
by
Caucus
big
didn't.
numbers and won counties in our country.
Are they going to do this every time he says something? Or what are they saying? He stole the election? Is that a threat to our democracy? You're going to get fired like Joy Reid got fired. Look how divided our country is,
And won
though. This is
counties
like,
in our
it's going to
country,
be...
2,700 to 525 on a map that reads almost completely red for Republican.
You lost. America hates you.
Now, for the
You're
first
horrible
time in
people.
modern
You're
history,
garbage human beings.
More Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction
Look,
than the wrong direction.
Vance
In
and
fact,
Vance
it's
and
an
Johnson aren't even going to
astonishing
sit down
record,
now.
27-point swing, the most
Okay,
ever.
sit down. Just stand up, guys. Just stay up. Show some strength. Put some force behind him.
Likewise, small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded, a 41.
Are they going to do this the whole time? This is ridiculous. Order.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease
I've
any
never seen
further
this.
disruptions.
Who is this
That's your
guy?
warning.
Get this guy out of our country. Who is this guy?
Members are engaging in willful and
I've seen him
continuing
before,
breach
but
of
I don't know his
decorum,
name.
And the chair is prepared to direct the
Bakalaka
sergeant
Dirt
at arms
Dirt?
to
I don't
restore
know who this
order
guy
to the
is.
joint session.
Muhammad? Who is this guy with this evil, Dr. Evil Kane, evil villain? What are you, a James Bond villain? He's got his
Mr. Green,
staff.
take your
Is there a
seat.
sword in there?
Take your seat, sir.
Look, dude's approaching him. We're about
Take
to
your
sit him
seat.
down. Get him out of there. Get him out of there.
Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now
I've never
directs the
seen
sergeant
anything
at
like
arms to
this.
restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
Get him out. Who is this guy? Yo, this is not. Where do they do this at? New Zealand, where they go in the middle of like the Senate hearings and stuff. This ain't that country. This is America, buddy. Put your damn stick down. That's a weapon. Get him out. Guys said, get him out of here. Calling the bounces.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House. Mr. President, you continue.
Ugly
Thank
ass
you.
mom.
Over the past 6 weeks, I have signed nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400 executive actions, a record to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it.
Dude, wherever that guy is from, he better not ever get voted in again. I don't know who that guy. This lady's just walking out too. Oh, Karen. Karen had to walk out.
In
She's
fact,
getting
it has been
frustrated.
stated by many that the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency, is the most
Blood
successful.
wrestling. Who was? I
in
don't
the
know. I've
history
seen
of our
that guy
nation.
before, but I don't know what his name is.
By many.
Jantix, are you Paige who was on VK the other night?
And what makes it even
False.
more
That's what their sign
impressive
says.
is
It says
that,
false.
do you know who number 2 is? George Washington. How about that?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about that list, but we'll take it. Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done. As a result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever.
Is that true? Oh. No, your picture kind of looked like a girl who was on a panel the other night.
They heard my words and they chose not to come. Much easier that way. In comparison, under Joe Biden, the worst president in American history, there were hundreds of thousands of illegal crossings a month, and virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental institutions and
He said
insane
virtually
asylums
all. The
were
media's
released
not going to like that.
into our country.
But
Who would
we
want
saw
to do
the
that?
trains crossing.
This is
we
my
saw him
fifth
riding on
such
trains
speech
getting
to
released
Congress.
from prisons.
And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me,
On
and
the
I
roofs of the
realize there is
trains.
absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease.
Find a cure to cancer.
A disease that
And they'd
would
say,
wipe
"Give us our
out
cancer back."
entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap,
Must
will not
steals.
stand, and
Whoa, he's
certainly
stealing
will
from
not
you?
cheer
He's stealing
for
from the
these
rich?
astronomical
He's not stealing from
achievements.
me.
They won't do it, no matter what.
You stole from me, you dumb.
5 times
Oh,
I've been
they're
up here.
pissing me off, dude.
It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way.
Steals. Look at they got their little arts and crafts signs that they made. They're so crafty.
So Democrats sitting before me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
Is Pelosi crying? She's got a weapon too. Pelosi looks like she's crying.
Every day my
Can't rip
administration
up.
is fighting to deliver the change
Can't rip up the
America
speech now,
needs
can you,
to
you dumb old
bring
broad?
a future that America deserves, and we're doing it. This is a time for big dreams and bold
Hundreds of
action.
doctors out of work.
Upon taking office, I imposed an immediate freeze on all federal hiring, a freeze on all new federal regulations, and a freeze on all foreign aid.
What's up, Tom Bombadil? Tom Bombadil.
Ridiculous Green New Scam. I withdrew from the unfair Paris Climate Accord, which was costing us trillions of dollars that other countries were not paying. I withdrew from the corrupt World Health Organization. And I also withdrew
Where we
from the
are known for making
anti-American
people
UN Human
unhealthy
Rights
across the
Council.
world.
We ended all of Biden's environmental restrictions that were making our country far less safe and totally unaffordable. And importantly, we ended the last administration's insane electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto workers and companies from economic destruction.
I need more coffee and a Trump hat.
To unshackle our economy, I have directed that for every one new regulation, 10 old regulations must be eliminated, just like I did in my very successful first term.
I need to get me one of those coffee servers. Where's my Trump hat?
And in that first term, we set records on ending unnecessary rules and regulations like no other president had done before. We ordered all federal workers to return to the office.
Squat up.
They will either show up for work
Squat
in person
up.
or be removed
Chair.
from their job. And we have ended weaponized government where, as an example, a sitting president is allowed to viciously prosecute his political opponent, like me.
Standing
How did
over
that
the
work
chair.
out? Not too good. Not too good.
Not too good. Didn't work out too good. Save Medicaid. Oh, shut up. Shut up. How much of that money is being laundered?
And I have stopped all government censorship and brought back free speech in America. It's back.
We can call Democrats gay retards again. Let's go.
And 2 days ago, I signed an order making English the official language of the United States of America.
Oh, you had to sign an order to make English the official language of America? Wow. Wow. Who knew I would have to do it? I didn't know, but I
The Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of America.
We got America fish now.
And likewise, I renamed for a great president, William McKinley, Mount McKinley again. Beautiful Alaska. We love Alaska.
We love Alaska. It's a great place.
We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our military.
Language is the only way low-level conflict can
No longer.
Yeah, who knew we had to sign an executive order to make America our language, or English our language?
We believe that
we should
whether
rename
you
the
are a
English
doctor,
language the American
an accountant,
language.
a lawyer, or an air traffic controller, you should be hired and promoted based on skill and competence, not race or gender.
Thanks.
Very important.
Maybe we'll see. Look at Lauren in that red dress. Oh,
You should be hired
and
based on
glasses.
merit.
She can't
And
see
the
without her
Supreme
glasses.
Court, in a brave and very powerful decision, has allowed us to do so. Thank you. Thank you very much.
The Supreme Court usually doesn't clap.
We
They're not
have
supposed
removed
to show
the
partiality.
poison of critical race theory from our public schools, and I signed an order making it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
So they're not going to teach kids that the white kids are the white devil and the boys should chop their penis off anymore? Oh, man. False. False.
I also signed an executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports.
Oh, we had to sign an executive order for that? This women's march on the 8th. It's a women's march. Is that Matt Walsh? Look at Matt Walsh and Ben Shapiro up in there.
3 years ago, Peyton McNabb
And that cross-eyed
was an
Riley Reid girl.
all-star high school athlete, one of the best,
Riley
preparing
Reid.
for a future
Riley,
in college sports.
Riley Gaines. I
But
think
when
Riley
her
Reid is a
girls'
porn star.
volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side and ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it.
This girl got
Peyton is
blasted
here
by the
tonight
balls of a
in the gallery,
transgender
and
athlete.
Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose.
A transgender
all federal
smashed his
funding.
ball in her face. And she can't play sports anymore. Let's go. We're not going to have any of that crap anymore in America. You're late, John. It's the fire. You missed some Democrat get kicked out already. He got bounced. Some lady was holding up a freaking arts and crafts sign she
And
made.
if you really want to see numbers, just take a
girl
look at
showing
what
her sleeve
happened in
tattoo
the
on her
women's boxing,
shoulderless dress. That's not
weightlifting,
classy.
track and field, swimming, or cycling, where a male recently finished a long-distance race 5 hours and 14 minutes ahead of a woman. For a
And
new
they say
record
that
by
women can keep
5
up with
hours.
men in long distance
Broke
swimming.
the record
Guess
by
that's
5
not true.
hours. It's demeaning for women, and it's
5
very bad for our
hours he cut
country.
the
We're not
record in
going to
long
put
distance
up with
swimming.
it any longer.
And the liberals will always use that as an argument. She looks way more attractive when she goes on Pierce Morgan. They'll always say, long distance swimming, women can
What
keep
I've
up
just
with men. I
described
guess
is only a
not.
small fraction of the common sense revolution that is now, because of us, sweeping the entire world. Common sense has become a common theme, and we will never go back. Never.
So at the Women's
never
March, the
let that
two
happen.
main things they're marching is for women's health care rights
Among my
and
very
transgender
highest
recognition
priorities is
at a
to
women's
rescue
march.
our
So you-
economy and get
so men,
dramatic
you
and
mean.
immediate relief
You're marching for men
to
at the
working
Women's
families.
March. That makes sense.
As you know, we inherited from the last administration an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare.
Some Democrat lady told me that
Their
Trump was
policies drove
gaslighting
up
me.
energy prices, pushed up
You don't know what
grocery
gaslighting
costs,
means.
and drove the necessities of life
not
out
the way
of
that
reach
works.
for
The other side
millions and
gaslights you.
millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it. We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history
being
of our
a willow
country. They're
tree.
not sure. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse
Obviously,
this
her
damage
injury
and
kept her from
make
keeping in shape.
America affordable again.
It's likely. I don't know. She might have been like a volleyball player. Those are Well, I don't know. Pelosi looking like Palpatine as per usual.
Biden
Except she's
especially
wearing,
let the
she's not
price
wearing
of
black.
eggs get out of control. The egg price is out of control. And we're working hard to get it back down. Secretary, do a good job on that.
Well, I
You
love
inherited
eggs.
A total mess
From my
the
head down to
previous
my legs.
administration. Do a good job.
The incredible edible egg. A lot of protein in an egg. Resist. Look at this. Look at who are these
A major
people?
focus of our fight
Who let
to
the
defeat
protesters into
inflation is
Congress?
rapidly reducing the cost of energy. The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%.
You're an idiot, Fred.
Slowed pipeline construction
You're
to a
wrong
halt
about everything
and
always,
closed
so.
more than 100 power plants. We are opening up many of those power plants right now.
NASDAQ was dipping a couple weeks ago because of the freaking new AI.
Frankly, we have
How long
never
did that last?
seen
It's back up.
anything like it. That's why on my first day
Stock
in
market
office, I declared
goes
a
through dips.
national
It'll be up.
energy emergency. As you've heard me say many
Stock
times,
market
we
is
have
crashing.
more
It's such a
liquid gold under our feet than any
catastrophist?
nation on
Is that a
earth.
word?
And by far. And now I fully authorize the most talented team ever assembled to
That's
go
true,
and get
Tom.
it. It's called
Yeah,
Drill,
anyone can get it. Who-
Baby, Drill.
Who are they letting into here? Speaking of eggs, shout out Trump Huevos.
My administration is also working on a gigantic natural gas pipeline in Alaska, among the largest in the world, where Japan, South Korea, and other nations
but
want
the
to be our
native
partner
land.
with investments of trillions of dollars each. There's never been anything like that one. It will be truly spectacular. It's all set to go. The permitting is gotten. And later this week, I will also take historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earths here in the USA.
They were just talking about that before this. We're gonna mine it ourselves. You think we don't got it? We got it.
To further
We got the
combat
rarest
inflation,
earth.
we will not only be reducing the cost of energy, but we'll be ending the
Thanks,
flagrant
Tom.
waste
I
of
thought I had seen you
taxpayer
here
dollars.
before, but if not, welcome in.
And to that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency. GOGE. Perhaps
Hand to
you've heard of
Elon.
it. Perhaps.
Oh, he's got his next biddy with him.
Which is headed by Elon Musk, who is
That
in the
baby's going.
gallery
That lady's going to be
tonight.
pregnant tonight. Look at how she's looking at him with admiration. She's trying to have that next Elon baby. Look at Warren playing Angry Birds on her
Thank
phone.
Elon.
You
He's
angry
working
old
very
bird.
hard. He didn't need this. He didn't need this. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Everybody here, even this
Oh,
side,
Pope.
appreciates it, I believe.
No, because they're losing all their money. They're
They
not going to
just
have all
don't
their
wanna
laundered
admit that.
illegal money anymore. They're pissed.
Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified.
Just don't mention the
$22
condoms
billion
for Gaza or whatever. 'cause
from
that was debunked,
HHS to
allegedly.
provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of.
Yeah, we
$60
need more
million
gays in
for
Lesotho.
indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million. What
does that mean?
$8 million for making mice transgender.
They're turning the
This is
mice
real.
gay.
$32 million for a left-wing propaganda operation in Moldova. $10 million for male circumcision in Mozambique.
Indian
$20 million
transgender facilities.
for the Arab Sesame Street in the Middle East. It's a program. $20 million for a program. $1.9 billion to recently created Decarbonization of Homes Committee, headed up, and we know she's involved.
That's how they take your
Just at
house.
the last moment, the money was passed over
So they say they can
by a woman named
decarbonize it.
Stacey Abrams. Have you ever heard of her?
Decarbonize. You know, humans are carbon life forms.
A
When they want to
$3.5 million
decarbonize your house, it
consulting
means
contract for
get you out of your house.
lavish
Oh yeah, that lady's
fish
gonna be pregnant tonight.
monitoring. $1.5 billion for voter confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion.
First frogs,
in
now the
Mali.
mice. That's what I'm saying.
$59 million
What up, Lord Spike?
for illegal alien hotel rooms in New York City. He's a real estate developer. He's done very well. $250,000 to increase vegan local climate action innovation in Zambia. $42 million for social and behavior change in Uganda.
Damn.
$14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia.
This is so much aid.
$47 million
We're really helping
for
out the world.
improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well with learning. You know what
I know
we're doing.
Asia's already
We should
way
use it
ahead of us.
ourselves.
Let's help
And
Asia learn more.
$101 million
That's a good
for
idea.
DEI contracts at the Department of Education. The most ever paid, nothing even like it. Under the Trump administration, all of these scams, and they're far worse, but I didn't think it was appropriate to talk about them. They're so bad. Many more have been found out and exposed and swiftly terminated by a group of very intelligent, mostly young people, headed up by Elon, and we appreciate it. We found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud.
Bro, Elon already got a cute blonde with him. Study of the effectiveness of bicycle helmets in Gaza.
And reduced our debt to fight inflation and other things. Taking back a lot of that money. We got it just in time. This is just the beginning.
Kick him out.
The Government Accountability Office, a federal
leaving?
government office, has
They're just
estimated
walking out.
annual fraud of over
these
$500
people- if you don't wanna be there,
billion
get out of our
in
government.
nation, and we are working very hard to stop it. We're going to. We're also identifying shocking levels of incompetence and probable fraud in the Social Security program for our seniors, and that our seniors
Elon said he's an alien again.
and people
on
that we
Rogan.
love rely on. Believe it or not, government databases list 4.7 million Social Security members from people aged 100 to 109 years old. It lists 3.6 million people from ages 110 to 119. I don't know any of them. I know some people that are rather elderly, but not quite that elderly. 3.47 million people from ages 120 to 129. 3.9 million
he's staring
people
him down.
from ages 130 to 139. 3.5
Those are
million
false. Those people are not getting any
from
money.
ages
Yeah, no duh, 'cause they're
140
dead.
to 149. And money is being paid to many of them. And we're searching right now
To find
fact,
out who's getting
Pam,
that money.
Good luck.
Good luck. You're going to end up
You're
in
going to
jail.
find it. But a lot of money is paid out to people because
Oh,
it
they're
just keeps
pissed.
getting
They're going-
paid
some people are
and
going to
paid,
jail.
and nobody does, and it really hurts Social Security and hurts our country.
Doug
1.3
Burgum.
million
Doug
people
Burgum's
from
on the plate.
ages
I like Doug.
150 to 159, and over 130,000 people, according to the Social Security databases, are age over 160 years old.
You could be right about that, Tom.
We have a healthier country than I thought, Bobby.
Oh, she didn't get a paddleboard. She had to write it on a card. I wonder if Bobby's wife is sitting on the other side. She looks so pissed when he got
To finish, 1,039 people between the ages of 220 and 229. One person between the age of 240 and 249. And one person is listed at 360 years of age.
It's Methuselah.
More than
It could be
100
Cain.
years.
The
More
mark
than
of
100
Cain.
years
Cain is still wandering the
older
earth,
than our
allegedly.
country.
That's the mark of
But
Cain.
we're going to find out where that
can't
money's
die.
going. And it's not going to be pretty. By slashing all of the fraud, waste, and theft we can find, we will defeat inflation, bring down mortgage rates, lower car payments and grocery prices, protect our seniors, and put more money in the pockets of American families.
JD looks disgusting. That's the resting face when he wears guy liner. I don't know if he wears guy liner. He might just have smoky eyes.
And today, interest rates took a beautiful drop, big, beautiful drop. It's about time. And in the near future, I want to do what has not been done in 24 years.
Got some heavy lash
balance
action.
the federal budget. We're going to balance it.
If he succeeds in even just reducing the deficit, all these people are going to eat their words. Freddie is going to eat his words. He's been crying about this funny money, fake deficit for so long.
With that goal in mind, we have developed in great detail what we are
Pissed you have to
calling
buy
the
eggs
Gold
also.
Card, which goes on sale very, very soon. For $5 million, we will allow the most successful job-creating people from all over the world to buy a path to U.S. citizenship. It's like the green card, but better
But not
and more
free.
sophisticated. And these people will have to pay tax in our country. They won't have to pay tax from where they came. The money that they've made, you wouldn't want to do that, but they have to pay tax, create jobs. They'll also be taking people out of colleges and paying for them so that we can keep them in our country instead of having them being forced out. Number one, at the top school, as an example, being forced out and not being allowed to stay and create tremendous numbers of jobs and great success for a company out there. So while we take out the criminals, killers, traffickers, and child predators
We're gonna
who are
bring in
allowed to
decent people.
enter our country under the open border policy of these people, the Democrats, the Biden administration, the open border insane policies that you've allowed to destroy our country, we will now bring in brilliant, hardworking, job-creating people. They're going to pay a lot of money, and we're going to reduce our
Bouncer.
debt with that money.
Who's this guy in the middle? He stands up really slow and he just kind of looks around.
Americans have given us a mandate for bold and profound change. For nearly 100 years, the federal
Orange man
bureaucracy
bad.
has grown until it
I
has
wouldn't buy
crushed
into
our
Trump
freedoms,
coin. I don't know
ballooned
about
our
all that.
deficits, and held back America's potential in every possible way. The nation founded by pioneers and risk takers now
gonna
drowns
expose all
under
the vampires.
millions and millions of pages of regulations and debt.
I can't wait till
Approvals
some of
that
them start
should
getting
take
locked
10
up.
days to get, instead take 10 years, 15 years, and even 20 years before you're rejected. Meanwhile, we have hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have not been showing up to work. My administration will reclaim power from this unaccountable bureaucracy, and we will restore true democracy to America again.
If they're moderate, then they shouldn't have a problem with anything he's saying. The problem is none of them. Look, that lady's standing up. She's base, so she'll still work with him.
Bureaucrat who resists
Show
this
respect.
change
She
will
knows
be
what to do.
removed
She knows
from
how to play the
office
game.
immediately. Because we are draining the swamp. It's very simple.
might have just ran out of
And
room on the
days
right
rule
side of the
by
room.
unelected bureaucrats are over.
You need to get all. Look at this. Look at that lesbian haircut. That chick looked like a frog. That was a man.
And the next phase of our plan to deliver the greatest economy in history is for this Congress to pass tax cuts for everybody. They're in there. They're waiting for you to vote. And I'm sure that the people on my right, I don't mean the Republican right, but my right here, I'm sure you're going to vote for those tax cuts, because otherwise I don't believe the people will ever vote you into office. So I'm doing you a big favor by telling you that. But I know this group is going to be voting for the tax.
False, false, false. I have a sign. Look, they're all wearing pink for Women's Week, but women to them have penises.
It's a very, very big part of our plan. We had tremendous
Look
success.
at the camera people crawling around like
Oompa
Oompa Loompas on their
We're
knees.
seeking permanent income tax cuts all across the board. And to get urgently needed relief to Americans hit
They had
especially
midget
hard by
camera people,
inflation.
but they're just
I'm
on their
calling
knees.
for no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and
Let's
no
get it.
tax
Let's get
on
it.
Social
You got to
Security
come through on that
benefits
one, Trump.
for our great seniors.
You got to come through on that, buddy. I need that. Let me get that. I'm going to be working 30 hours a day once you get that no tax on overtime going. Start by paying your taxes. Oh, shut up.
And
You
I
have stupid-looking
also
glasses.
Want to make interest payments on car loans tax deductible, but only if the car is made in America.
Tax-deductible car loans. Listen to all these
And by the way,
original
we're gonna have
ideas.
growth in
Good
the auto
ideas.
industry like nobody's ever seen. Plants are opening up all over the place. Deals are being made.
You saw Kamala
Never
try to
seen.
steal
That's
that
a
idea.
combination of the election win and tariffs. It's a beautiful word, isn't it? That, along with our other policies, will allow our auto industry to absolutely boom. It's going to boom. Spoke to the majors today, all three.
False.
The top people, and
Yeah,
they're so
they're drooling
excited.
on
In fact,
themselves.
already numerous car companies have announced that they will be building massive automobile plants in America, with Honda just announcing a new plant in Indiana, one of the largest anywhere in the world.
We got Indiana Hondas. Can't call it a rice burner anymore. It's an America burner.
And this has taken place since our great victory on November 5th, a date which
Chairs
will hopefully
here.
go down as one of the most important in the history of our country. In addition, as part of our tax cuts, we want to cut taxes on domestic production and all manufacturing. And just as we did before, we will provide 100% expensing. It will be retroactive to January 20th, 2025. And it was one of the main reasons why our tax cuts were so successful in our first term, giving us the most successful economy
Yeah,
in
Biden
the
kept
history of
those.
our country. First term. We had a great first term.
Oh, you thought the first term was great. Get ready for the second one.
If you don't make your
It's gonna
product
be way
in
better.
America, however, under the Trump administration, you will pay a tariff, and in some cases, a rather large one.
All the Democrats
Other countries
complaining
have
about
used
this
tariffs against
in
us
the
for
world
decades, and
don't
now
have
it's our
jobs.
turn to start
They
using
live off the
them
government.
against those other countries. On average, the European Union,
Would they live off the taxpayer?
China, Brazil, India, Mexico, and Canada. Have you heard of them? And countless
We are
other
the
nations
government.
charge us tremendously higher tariffs than we charge them. It's very unfair. India charges us auto tariffs higher than 100%. China's average tariff on our products is twice what we charge them. And South
now,
Korea's
and now they
average
cry
tariff
when we
is
say
4 times
25%
higher.
tariff.
Think of that, 4
They charge
times
more tariffs
higher.
to us.
And we give so much help militarily and
They cry
in so
about the
many
gold
other
card.
ways to
Other countries
South
already
Korea,
do
but That's
that.
what happens. This is happening by friend and foe. This system is not fair to the United States and never was. And so on April 2nd, I wanted to make it April 1st.
But then
I
it would be
didn't
April Fool's Day.
want to be accused of April Fool's Day. That's not, just one day was cost us a lot of money. But we're going to do it in April. I'm a very superstitious person. April 2nd reciprocal tariffs kick in. And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever they tax us, we will tax them. If they do non-monetary tariffs,
Some of the Democrat side are standing up, but I think it's just because the right
keep
side
us out of
overflowed
their
and they had to
market,
go sit with the
then
enemy.
we will do non-monetary barriers to keep them out of our market. There's a lot of that, too. They don't even allow us in their market. We will take in trillions and trillions of dollars and create jobs like we have never seen before. I did it with China and I did it with others, and the Biden administration couldn't do anything about it because there was so much money they couldn't do anything about it. We have been ripped off for decades by nearly every country on earth, and we will not let that happen any longer.
This guy looks stressed. He knows he's going to jail. He's been
Over the
laundering some
last
money.
3 months about Mexico and Canada. But we have very large deficits
He's going to need to
with
get a
both of them.
colonoscopy
But
after
even
this.
more importantly, they've allowed fentanyl to come into our country at levels never seen before, killing hundreds of thousands of our citizens and many very young, beautiful people, destroying
Trick
families. Nobody's
April
ever seen
Fools, it's
anything
actually
like
a
it.
50% tariff.
They are, in effect, receiving subsidies of hundreds of billions of dollars. We pay subsidies to Canada and to Mexico of hundreds of billions of dollars, and the United States will not be doing
Notice
that
the women
any longer. We're not
on
going
the
to do
right
it any
side
longer.
are wearing red. A lot of the women are wearing red dresses. On the left side,
Thanks to our America First
or vice
policies
versa,
we're putting
they're all wearing
into
pink.
place, we have had
I don't like a woman in
$1.7
a
trillion
pink dress.
of
I like a
new
woman in a
investment in
red dress.
America in just the past few weeks. The combination of the election and our economic policies that people of SoftBank, one of the most brilliant anywhere in the world, announced a $200 billion investment. OpenAI and Oracle, Larry Ellison, announced $500 billion investment, which they wouldn't have done if Kamala had won. Apple announced
$500 billion.
$500
With a B.
billion investment. Tim Cook called me. He said, I cannot spend it fast enough. It's going to be much higher than that, I believe. They'll be building their plants here instead of in China. And just yesterday, Taiwan Semiconductor, the biggest
Invest
in the
in
world,
NASDAQ.
most powerful
Tech
in the
going
world,
up, boys.
has a tremendous amount.
I'm not a financial
97%
advisor.
of the market.
I'm broke.
Announced a $165
Maybe don't listen to me
billion
on money
investment to build the
issues.
most powerful chips on earth right here in the USA.
I feel like that flag being trimmed like
And we're not
that
giving
is
them
like
any
against
money.
flag
Your
law.
CHIPS Act is a horrible, horrible thing. We give hundreds of billions of dollars, and it doesn't mean a thing. They take our money and they don't spend
Oh,
it.
it's not. It's just the
All
chairs.
that meant to them, we're giving them
I thought the
no
flag
money.
was cut weird.
All that was important
That's
to
just
them
the-
was they didn't want to pay the tariffs, so they came and they're building, and many other companies are coming. We don't have to give them money. We just want to protect our businesses and our people, and they will come because they won't have to pay tariffs if they build in America. So it's very amazing. You should get rid of the CHIP Act, and whatever's left over, Mr. Speaker, you should use it to reduce debt or any other reason you want to.
Wait, he said get rid of the CHIPS Act? I thought originally it was his idea, but Biden did it because he got the election stolen from him. And I guess Biden probably did it
Our
wrong.
new trade policy will also
Shocker.
be great for the American farmer. I love the farmer. Who will now be selling into our home market, the USA.
Yeah, and
because
let's stop
nobody is
infecting
going
the
to be able
chickens
to
with
compete with you.
manufactured viruses and burning down
Because
chicken
there's
farms.
Goods that come in from other countries and companies, they're really in a bad position in so many different ways. They're uninspected. They may be very dirty and disgusting, and they come in and they pour in, and they hurt our American farmers. The tariffs will go on agricultural product coming into America, and our farmers, starting on April 2nd, it may be a little bit of an adjustment period, We had that before when I made the deal with China, $50 billion of purchases, and I said, just bear with me, and they did. They did. Probably have to bear with me again, and this will be even better. That was great. The problem with it was that Biden didn't enforce it. He didn't enforce it. $50 billion of purchases, and we were doing great, but Biden did not enforce it, and it hurt our farmers, but our farmers are going to have a field day right now. So to
Those
our
words don't go together
farmers,
unless it's force
have
against
a lot
your
of
political
fun.
opposition.
I love you too. I love you too. It's all going to happen.
Remember that black like button. They do not love the Boer.
And also imposed a
in South Africa.
25% tariff on foreign aluminum, copper, lumber, and steel, because if we don't have, as an example, steel and lots of other things, we don't have a military, and frankly, we just won't have a country very long. Here today is a proud American steelworker, fantastic person from Decatur, Alabama.
There's
Jeff
a Decatur in
Kennard
every state.
has been working at the same steel plant for 27 years in a job that has allowed him to serve as the captain of his local volunteer fire department, raised 7 children with his beautiful wife, Nicole, and over the years provided
some
a loving
replacement
home for
rate
more
for
than
you.
40 foster children. So great, Jeff.
Nice. Working at a steel plant, making 7 babies, raising 40 foster kids. That guy's a hero.
Thank you, Jeff.
Don't put your fist up like that, though. They're going to be saying that you're doing a dang.
Stories like Jeff's remind us that tariffs are
Symbol.
not just about protecting American jobs. They're about protecting the soul
Nightbot is base.
of our country. Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance.
I got to think of some more prompts
but
for it.
We're okay with that. It won't be much. No, you're not. Oh. And look where Biden took us. Very
Like button
low,
and
the
cheese.
lowest
Oh,
we've ever
17.
been.
We're
Jeff,
still
I
4
want to thank you
short.
very much. And I also want to recognize another person who has devoted herself to foster care community. She works so hard on it. A very loving person, our magnificent First Lady of the United States.
Foster care, they say? Oh, but you pro-lifers don't care about the children after they're born. Shut up.
Melania's work has yielded incredible results, helping prepare our nation's future leaders as they enter the workforce. Our First Lady is joined by 2 impressive young women, very impressive. Haley Ferguson, who benefited from the First Lady's Fostering the Future initiative and is poised to complete her education and become a teacher. And Elliston Berry, who became a victim of an illicit deepfake image produced by a peer. With Elliston's help, the Senate just passed the Take It Down Act, and this is so important. Thank you very much, John. John Thune, thank you. Stand up,
Take it
John.
down app. So if they use AI to make fake pornographic images
Thank
of
you all
you,
very much.
we're going to take it down. That's good.
Thank you. And thank you to John Thune and the Senate. Great job. To criminalize the publication of such images online is a terrible, terrible thing. And once it passes the House, I look forward to signing that bill into law. Thank you. And I'm going to use that bill for myself, too, if you don't mind. Because nobody gets treated worse than I do online. Nobody. That's great. Thank you very much to the Senate. Thank you. But if we truly care about protecting Americans' children, no step is more crucial than securing America's borders. Over the past 4 years, 21 million people poured into the United States. Many of them were murderers, human traffickers,
As AI gets better, it's
gang
gonna get
members, and
more,
other criminals from the streets of dangerous cities
Important.
all throughout the world. Because of Joe Biden's insane and very dangerous open border policies, they are now strongly embedded in our country. but we are getting them out and getting them out fast.
It's not quality. Democrats' arms got tired. They can't hold up their signs
Christy,
anymore.
I want to thank you and Paul of Border Patrol. I want to thank you. What a job they've all done. Everybody, Border Patrol, ICE, or law enforcement in general
Yeah,
is
that's a good
incredible.
point,
We have
Tom.
to take care of our law enforcement. Have to. Last year, a brilliant 22-year-old nursing student named Laken Riley, the best in her class, admired by
Biden didn't even
everybody,
know her name the
went out
day
for a
after it
jog on the
happened.
campus of the University of Georgia. That morning, Laken was viciously attacked, assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and horrifically murdered. Laken was stolen from us by a savage illegal alien gang member who was arrested while trespassing across Biden's open southern border and then set loose into the United States under the heartless policies of that failed administration. It was indeed a failed administration. He had then been arrested and released in
her
a
mom?
Democrat-run sanctuary
And her
city, a
sister?
disaster, before ending the life of this beautiful young angel. With us this evening are Laken's beloved mother, Allison, and her sister, Lauren.
Yeah, Democrats don't care about that. They like when young white girls on college campuses are raped and murdered by illegal immigrants. There was Cheryl Hines. She is there. Is she not even sitting with RFK?
Last year, I told Laken's grieving parents that we would ensure their daughter would not have died in vain. That's why the very first bill I
She's
signed
sitting on the
into
other
law
side.
as
I bet.
your 47th president mandates the detention of all dangerous criminal aliens who threaten public safety. It's a very strong, powerful act. It's called the Laken-Riley Act. So Allison and Lauren, America will never, ever forget our beautiful Laken Hope Riley.
Can't sit with her. Even if she could, I bet she would sit on the other side. She don't want to be acquainted with that. No, the cabinet's all allowed to bring one guest.
Thank you very much. Since taking office, my
Well, no, that's for the
administration has
speaker-
launched
that's for
the
the guest
most
speaker
sweeping
box.
border
So
and
maybe
immigration
you're right.
crackdown in American history, and we quickly achieved the lowest numbers of illegal border crossers ever recorded. Thank you.
Savage illegal alien. Yeah, we're not saying this undocumented immigrant crap. They changed the nomenclature and they changed they use euphemisms to.
The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new
soften the
legislation.
language.
We must have legislation
Gayify
to
the
secure
language.
border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
Yeah, it wasn't that difficult, was it? Dude, their seats are getting more and more empty. They keep leaving. Oh my God, look at these grumpy ass purple-haired old women.
Joe Biden didn't just open our borders. He flew
That lady looked like a
illegal aliens
crackhead
over
that I
them
see it down on the
to overwhelm
down
our
on,
schools, hospitals, and communities
Rio
throughout
Grande
the
Boulevard.
country. Entire towns like Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield, Ohio, buckled under the weight of the migrant occupation and corruption like nobody's ever seen before. Beautiful towns destroyed. Now, just as I promised in my inaugural address, we are achieving the great liberation of America.
so many clippable moments from this.
But there still is much work to be done. Here tonight is a woman I have gotten to know, Alexis Nungari from Houston. Wonderful woman. Last June, Alexis's 12-year-old daughter, her precious Jocelyn, walked to a nearby convenience store. She was kidnapped, tied up, assaulted for 2 hours under a bridge, and horrifically murdered. Arrested and charged with this heinous crime are 2 illegal alien monsters from Venezuela.
I heard of this
released
case,
into America by the last administration through their ridiculous open border.
Yet we have protests where
death
they
of
walk
this
around with
beautiful
Mexican
12-year-old
flags.
girl and the agony of her mother and family touched our entire nation greatly. Alexis, I promised.
No, it went
that we would
unreported on
always
barely because it
remember
was
your
Biden.
daughter,
They didn't
your
care.
magnificent daughter. And earlier tonight, I signed an order keeping my word to you. One thing I have learned about Jocelyn is that she loved animals so much. She loved nature. Across Galveston Bay, from where Jocelyn lived in Houston, you will find a magnificent national wildlife refuge, a pristine, peaceful, 34,000-acre sanctuary for all of God's creatures on the edge of the Gulf of America. Alexis, moments ago, I formally renamed that refuge in loving memory of your beautiful daughter, Jocelyn. So, Mr. Vice President, if you would, may I have the order?
He's going to give it to her, or he's going to give her the pen. Dude, he's got signed orders ready to go at the thing. He's got another one in front of Mike Johnson. So he's announcing 2 new executive orders tonight.
Thank you very much. All 3 savages charged with Jocelyn and Lakin's murders were members of the Venezuelan prison gang, the toughest gang, they say, in the world, known as Tren de Aragua. 2 weeks ago, I officially designated this gang, along with MS-13 and the bloodthirsty Mexican drug cartels, as foreign terrorist organizations.
Flatten it. Level it. Level it and put up a Trump Donald's. Look at this. This lady looks upset. That lady had a penis.
Category as ISIS, and that's not good for them.
If she was a Democrat, if she was on the right side and she's crying over what happened, then she's a nice lady.
Biden administration.
I'm not
but
sure.
now every last one will be rounded up and forcibly removed from our country, or if they're too dangerous, put in jails, standing trial in this country, because we don't want them to come back ever. With us this evening is a warrior on the front lines of that battle, Border Patrol Agent Roberto Ortiz. Great guy.
Yeah, it's more than just Jocelyn and Lakin. There's a long list. And they were all young, like college-aged or younger girls. Was Jocelyn the one where they broke in her window and kidnapped her?
In January, Roberto and another agent were patrolling by the Rio Grande near an area known as Cartel Island. Doesn't sound too nice to me. When heavily armed gunmen started shooting at them, Roberto saw that his partner was totally exposed, at great danger, and he leapt into action, returning fire and providing crucial seconds for his fellow agent to seek safety, just barely. I have some of the prints
she was
of
12.
that event, and it was
young.
not good. Agent Ortiz, we salute you for your great courage and for your line of fire that you took, and for the bravery that you showed. We honor you, and we will always honor you. Thank you, Roberto, very much.
Look at that. Roberto Rodriguez. Oh. Looks like we don't have a problem with people from other nations in America. We just don't like the illegals who are murdering people.
And I actually got to know him on my many calls to the border. He's a great gentleman. The territory to the immediate south of our border is now dominated entirely by criminal cartels that murder, rape, torture, and exercise total control. They have total control over a whole nation.
Yep.
Posing
Every time
a
you buy
grave
your
threat to our
avocados, you're
national
sending them
security.
money.
The cartels are waging war on America, and it's time for America to wage war on the cartels, which we are doing.
See, the problem is a lot of these Democrats, look at, they're not, how are you not clapping for this?
5 nights ago,
These Democrats
Mexican
get paid by these
authorities,
cartels.
because of our tariff
I'm sure some rhinos do
policies
too.
being imposed on them. Think
Where's
of this.
Dan Crenshaw?
Handed over to us 29 of the biggest cartel leaders in their country. That has never happened before. They want to make us happy. First time ever. But we need Mexico and Canada to do much more than they've done, and they have to stop the fentanyl and drugs pouring into the USA. They're going to stop it.
You could, but they don't.
I have
They
sent
ship 'em in
Congress a
from
detailed
cartel
funding
avocados.
request laying out exactly how we will eliminate these threats to protect our homeland and complete the largest
think some of the farms
deportation
in
operation
California
in
are
American
ran by
history,
cartels,
larger
too.
even than current record holder President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a moderate man, but someone who believed very strongly in borders. Americans expect Congress to send me this funding without delay so I can sign it into law. So, Mr. Speaker, John Thune, both of you, I hope you're going to be able to do that, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Mr. Leader, thank you. Thank you very much. And let's get it to me. I'll sign it so fast, you won't even believe it.
I questioned Mike Johnson in the beginning, but he's doing all right. He's doing all right. Same with JD. I'm starting to like
Reclaim our
JD.
sovereignty. We must also bring back law and order to our cities and towns.
I don't trust nobody except Jesus and Trump. No, I don't
In
even
recent
totally
years,
trust Trump.
Our justice system has been turned upside down by radical left lunatics. Many jurisdictions virtually ceased enforcing the law against dangerous repeat offenders while weaponizing law enforcement against political opponents like me. My administration has
I just wanted
acted
Jim Jordan
swiftly
to
and
get the speaker
decisively
position.
to restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law, starting at the FBI and the DOJ. Pam, good luck. Cash, wherever you may be, good luck. Good luck. Pam Bondi.
Dan Bongino in there now, too.
So important. Going to do a great
FBI.
job. Cash, thank you. Thank you, Cash.
You can tell Cash is feeling it. They hating it on him now.
They've already started very strong. They're going to do a fantastic job. You're going to be very proud of them. We're also once again giving our police officers the support, protection, and respect they so dearly deserve. They have to get
Democrats
it.
don't like
They have
that.
such a hard, dangerous job.
Defund
But
the
we're going to make it
police.
less dangerous.
Police brutality.
The problem is the bad guys don't respect the law, but they're starting to respect it, and they soon will respect it. This also includes
Listen to
our great
Democrats
fire departments throughout the country.
piping
Our
up.
firemen and women are unbelievable
They hate
people, and
cops.
we'll never forget them. And besides that, they voted for me in record numbers, so I have no choice.
Bunch of cowards.
One year ago this month, 31-year-old New
Yeah,
York
he has a
police
dangerous
officer
job.
Jonathan Diller, unbelievably
And he's
wonderful person and a great
he went from being unknown
officer,
to one of the most hated people.
was gunned down at a traffic stop on Long Island. I went to his funeral. The vicious criminal charged with his murder had 21 prior arrests, and they were rough arrests, too. He was a real bad one. The thug in the seat next to him had 14 prior arrests and went by the name of Killer. He was Killer. He killed other people, they say, a lot of them.
His name was
I
Killer?
attended
It sounds like
Officer
a real jerk.
Killer's service, and when I met his wife and one-year-old son, Ryan, it was very inspirational, actually. His widow's name is Stephanie, and she is here tonight. Stephanie, thank you very much, Stephanie. Thank you very much.
See, if the Democrats aren't standing up for stuff like this, then they're just
Stephanie,
trash.
we're going
Just
to
get
make
'em
sure
out.
that Ryan knows his dad was a
Scumbags.
true hero, New York's finest. And we're going to get these cold-blooded killers and repeat offenders off our streets, and we're going to do it fast. Got to stop it. They get out with 28 arrests. They push people into subway trains. They hit people over the head, back of the head with baseball bats. We got to get them out of here. I've already signed an
White Girl
executive
Bleed a
order
Lot.
requiring
That was
a
the name of Colin
mandatory
Flaherty's
death
book.
penalty for
He was one
anyone
of the
who
first
murders a police officer.
cancelings.
And tonight I'm asking
He wrote
Congress
books
to
about
pass that policy into
the
permanent
knockout
law.
games. He wrote 2 books about the knockout games, and they canceled him because they wanted to hide the narrative that it's not white people doing all the crime.
I'm also asking for a new crime bill getting tough on repeat offenders while enhancing protections for America's police
we got the
officers
Floydites
so they can do their
chanting
jobs
now.
without fear of their lives being totally destroyed. They don't want to be killed. We're not going to let them be killed.
Knockout games is when black people used to walk around and just find white people and
Joining
hit 'em,
us in the
walk up
gallery
and hit 'em
tonight
and
is a
attack
young
'em.
man who
It was a
truly
common
loves
thing.
our
It was a
police.
trend that was
His name
happening
is
before
DJ
social media.
Daniel. He is 13 years
Look at this
old,
little
and
guy.
he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer.
But at the time, they were spreading the idea that, and they still are, that. Is he throwing up gang signs? Base little guy. That's cool.
But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed
Who was
with
that
brain
blonde
cancer.
lady? She was
The doctors gave him 5 months at most to
widowed-
live. That was more than
widowed
6
wife
years
of
ago.
a guy who got killed by some criminals, some gangbangers. Some guy named Killer killed him. Shocker. In New York, I think. Oh, wait. Why are you guys not standing up and clapping, Democrats?
Since that
a
time,
young
DJ
black
and
man
his
who
dad
wants to
have
become a
been
police
on
officer.
a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer. Actually, a number of times. The police love him. The police departments love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor
You know
of
the
them
kids
all.
in the hood can't stand
I am
him.
asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
What? Let's go. Yo, we got the youngest Secret Service member. That's DEI right there. That's real DEI. Look at this little badass. Yo, the kids in his neighborhood hate him. That's wholesome, man. I'm gonna see. He's asking him, "What am I allowed to do with this power? Am I allowed to arrest some of these hoodlums in my neighborhood?"
Thank you, DJ.
This is crazy.
DJ's doctors believe his cancer likely came from a chemical he was exposed to when he was younger. Since
Hide your weed, that
1975,
kid drop
rates
ain't
of
playing.
child cancer have
Buff's
increased
gonna
by more
love
than
that kid.
40%. Reversing this trend is one of the top priorities for our new presidential commission to make
got a badge and all.
America
He's Secret
healthy again,
Service.
chaired by our new Secretary of Health and
we're on
Human
health. Let's
Services,
go.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Sorry, Seattle. No more SSRIs for the little girls. No more Ritalin for the little boys. No more giving children 22 vaccines before they're 2 years old. Sorry about it.
With the name Kennedy, you would have thought everybody over here would have been cheering. How quickly they forget. Our goal is to get toxins out of our environment, poisons
their
out of
attention
our
span
food
is like
supply,
20 seconds.
and keep our children healthy
They're playing
and
Angry
strong.
Birds on their phone.
As an example, not long ago,
Bounce them, bounce them.
You can't even believe these numbers. 1 in 10,000 children
Oh, you know
had
they
autism.
hate
1 in
RFK now.
10,000. And
They
now
love
it's 1
destroying
in
the health.
36.
You got to dumb down and
There's
demoralize
something
the
wrong. 1
populace
in
in order to
36.
control them
Think of that.
easier.
So we're going to find
Make
out
them
what it is,
unhealthy,
and there's nobody better than Bobby
feed them a
and
bunch
all
of
the
sugar and
people that
alcohol,
are working with you. You have the best
cigarettes
to
and garbage.
Figure out what
And
is
I'm not
going on. Okay, Bobby, good luck.
I'm not exempt
It's a
from
very
that.
important job. Thank you.
Use advertising and marketing. Put them on every corner. Put sugar in all the food.
Thank you. My
people
administration is
fat,
also
dumb, and
working
lazy.
to protect our children
Use
from
TikTok,
toxic
the internet.
ideologies in our schools. A few years ago, January Littlejohn and her husband discovered that their daughter's school had secretly socially
Transgendered
transitioned their
the kid?
13-year-old little
Fuck
girl.
that place.
Teachers and administrators conspired to deceive
I can't do any
January
calls
and her
to.
husband
Never
while
mind.
encouraging her daughter to use a new name and pronouns. They, them pronoun, actually. All
Not
without
even-
telling January, who is here tonight and is now a courageous advocate against this form of child abuse. January, thank you.
It is child abuse.
Thank you.
Bro, who is Jabba the Hutt? Oh. Sorry, I need to stop being mean because that could be a really nice lady.
Thank you. Stories like this
She stood up
are
and
why
clapped, so she's
shortly after
based.
taking office, I signed an executive order banning public schools from indoctrinating our children with transgender ideology.
Amazing that you'd have to do something like that. Who would have thunk it? 20 years ago, this would have been. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was mean to that lady behind her. That lady's a nice
Cut off all
lady.
taxpayer funding to any institution that engages in the sexual mutilation
Just in
of our
roast
youth.
mode.
And now I want Congress to pass
Now
a
they're
bill
having protests because we
permanently
want to chop the
and
kids.
criminalizing sex changes on children and forever ending the lie that any child is trapped in the wrong body. This is a big lie.
A big lie.
And our message to every child in America is that you are perfect exactly the way God made you.
Facts. Your kid says, "Daddy, I think I'm." If your boy says, "Daddy, I think I'm a girl," you say,
It's
"No,
out
you're
of our
not."
schools and out of our military.
Take that dress
and
off.
It's already out, and it's out of our society. We don't want it. Wokeness is trouble.
Probably wouldn't
Wokeness
be a
is
daddy
bad.
in that situation.
It's gone. It's gone.
Be a crazy liberal
And we
woman
feel so much better
for a
for
mom.
it, don't we? Don't we feel better? Our service members won't be activists and ideologues. They will be fighters and
Look at that.
warriors. They
All
will fight
men.
for our country.
Healthy-looking
and Pete,
men.
Congratulations, Secretary of Defense. Congratulations.
No overweight like transgenders or people that look like they're on too many medications. running our military anymore.
And he's not big into the woke movement, I can tell you. I know him well. I am pleased to report that in January, the U.S. Army had
Woke
its
is dead
single
in
best
America.
recruiting
It's
month
over.
in 15 years, and that all armed services are having among the best recruiting results.
I know, it's
ever
crazy,
in the
B-Wise,
history
that any
our
of this has to be
services.
said.
What a difference.
We need to set the example for the rest of the world, and we are.
And you know, it was just a few months ago
This crap's got to
where the
stop.
results were exactly the opposite. We couldn't recruit anywhere. We couldn't recruit. Now we're having the best results just about that we've ever had. What a tremendous turnaround.
Oh, you mean men want to join the military
It's really
again now
a
that they know
beautiful
they're not
thing
going to be in a
see.
foxhole with a
People love our country
transgender?
again. It's very simple.
On
they love our country
SSRIs?
and they love being in our military again. So it's a great thing, and thank you very much. Great job. Thank you.
Dude, he's going to go for like 2 hours. I'm going to be late for work.
We're joined tonight
Look at
by a
Bernie
young
sitting
man,
there
Jason
looking like
Hartley, who knows
looking
the
like he
weight
got a
of
crab
that
in his
call of
ass.
duty. Jason's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather all wore the uniform. Jason tragically lost his dad, who was also a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy when he was just a boy, and now he wants to carry on the family legacy of service. Jason is a senior in high school, a 6-letter varsity athlete, a really good athlete.
Are you going to
they
make him
say.
part of the Secret Service
A
too?
brilliant student with a 4.46, that's good,
Damn.
GPA. And his greatest dream is to attend the U.S. Military Academy at West Point.
That kid's going to be a general someday. You better tuck that lip in. You get it
And
caught on a tripwire,
That's
Jason.
a very big deal getting in. That's a hard one to get into. But I'm pleased to inform you that your application has been accepted. You will soon be joining the Corps of Cadets.
Mom's worried. Look at that kid came up, gave him a high five. What's up, bro? You gonna be a general? I'm gonna run the Secret Service. Let's get him. We're taking out the swamp. This is the next generation lining up right here. It ain't
Thank
over.
you.
Oh, we're
Jason,
keeping this
you're gonna
run
be on
going for the
long
next
gray
50
line,
years.
Jason. As Commander-in-Chief, my focus is on building the most powerful military of the future. As a first step, I'm asking Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden
The
Dome
Dream
missile
Maker tonight.
defense shield to protect our homeland.
You get a job in government.
All
You get a
made in
job in the
USA.
military.
And Ronald Reagan wanted to do it long ago, but the technology just wasn't there, not even close. But now we have the technology. It's incredible, actually. And other places, they have it. Israel has it. Other places have it. And the United States should have it too, right, Tim, right? They should
Is he
have
talking
it
about
too.
the Iron
So I
Dome?
want to thank you. But it's a very, very important. This is a very dangerous world. We should have it. We want to be protected, and we're going to protect our citizens like never before. To boost our defense industrial base, we are also going to
The Golden
resurrect the
Dome.
American shipbuilding industry, including
he
commercial
call it the Golden
shipbuilding
Dome?
and military shipbuilding. And for that purpose, I am announcing tonight that we will
Ooh, you
create
farted,
a new
Echo.
Office of Shipbuilding in the White House and
smell it.
offer special tax incentives to bring this industry home to America where it belongs. We used to make so many ships. We don't make them anymore very much, but we're going to make them very fast, very soon.
Trump,
Will
you gotta
have a
speed
huge
it up, my
impact.
boy.
To further enhance our national security, my administration will be reclaiming the Panama Canal, and we've already started doing it.
You gotta
Yesterday,
speed
a
this up,
large
Trump.
American company announced they are buying both ports around the Panama Canal and lots of other things having to do with the Panama Canal and a couple of other canals. The Panama Canal was built by Americans for Americans, not for others, but others could use it. But it was built at tremendous cost of American blood and treasure. 38,000 workers died building the Panama Canal.
I know.
They died of malaria. They
Give me a
died
little
of
bit
snake
longer.
bites and mosquitoes. Not a nice place to work.
If he's planning on
They
talking
paid
for
them
3
very
hours, I
highly
can't
to go
watch
there,
this whole
knowing
thing.
there was a 25% chance that they would die. The most expensive project also that was ever built in our country's history, if you bring it up to modern day costs. It was given away by the Carter
After
administration
Biden
for
inflation,
$1.
it's like $20 trillion.
But that agreement has been violated very severely. We didn't give it to China. We gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back.
They'll say fact check false. They did not sell it for $1. In reality, we actually paid like $354 million in soldier
And we have
in
Marco
protections
Rubio
and
in charge. Good luck, Marco.
money to give it away.
Now
We actually paid
we know
them
who to blame if
to give it
anything
away.
goes wrong. Marco's been amazing, and he's going to do a great job. Think of it. He got 100 votes.
Panamac anal.
You know, he was approved with actually 99, but the 100th was this gentleman, and I feel very certain. So let's assume he got 100 votes, and I'm either very, very happy about that or I'm very concerned about it. But he's already proven. I mean, he's a great gentleman. He's respected by everybody, and we appreciate you voting for Marco. He's going to do a fantastic job. Thank you. Thank you. He's doing a great job. Great job. And I also have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland. We strongly support your right to determine your own future.
I don't know.
And if
Mosquitoes
you
killed a lot
choose,
of
we
people
welcome
down
you
there,
into
though.
the United States of America. We need Greenland for national
Space.
security and even international security, and we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it really for international world security.
We're going to set up
And I
a
think
giant.
We're gonna get it.
All
One way
of
or the
Greenland
other,
is
we're
going to
gonna
be a
get it.
space station.
We will keep you safe. We will make you rich, and together we will take Greenland to
We'll make
heights
Greenland
like
great
you have
again.
never thought possible before. It's a very small population, but very, very large piece of land and very, very important for military security. America is once again standing strong against the forces of radical Islamic terrorism. 3.5 years ago, ISIS terrorists
Thanks,
killed
Grok.
13 American service members and countless others in the Abbey Gate bombing during the disastrous and incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan. Not that they were withdrawing, it was the way they withdrew. Perhaps the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. Tonight, I am pleased to announce that we have just apprehended the top terrorist responsible for that atrocity, and he is right now on his way here to face the swift
I'm sure there's some
sword of
people
American justice.
that are mad that we're out there catching and killing terrorists. Look at these disrespectful pieces of crap. You see what happened to Zelensky when he was disrespectful? Get them out.
And I want to thank especially the government of Pakistan
They're like, we got to
for
check fact
helping
check on
arrest
this.
this
Fact
monster.
check. Fact check.
This was a very momentous day for those 13 families who I actually got to know very well, most of them, whose children were murdered, and the many people that were so badly, over 42 people, so badly injured on that fateful day in Afghanistan. What a horrible day. Such incompetence was shown that when Putin saw what happened, I guess he said, wow, maybe this is my chance. That's how bad it was. Should have never happened. Grossly incompetent people. I spoke to many of the parents and loved ones, and they're all in our hearts tonight. Just spoke to them on the phone. We had a big call every one of them called, and everybody was on the line, and they did nothing but cry with happiness. They were very happy as you can be under those circumstances. Their child, brother, sister, son, daughter was killed for no reason whatsoever. In the Middle East, we're bringing back our hostages from Gaza. In my first term, we achieved one of the most groundbreaking peace agreements in generations, the Abraham Accords.
Yeah, who was I talking to when I brought up, I think it was Goon, and I brought up the Abraham Accord. He's like, that wasn't Trump. Yeah, it was. I hate when, that's gaslighting, is when I say something and I'm right, and then lefties
And now we're going
make
to
me
build
believe
on
that I was wrong.
foundation to create a more peaceful and prosperous future
Never question
for the
myself.
entire region. A lot of things are happening in the Middle East. People have been talking about that so much lately with everything going on with Ukraine and Russia. But a lot of things are happening in the Middle East. It's a rough neighborhood, actually. I'm also working tirelessly to end the savage conflict in Ukraine. Millions of Ukrainians and Russians have been needlessly killed or wounded in this horrific and brutal conflict with no end in sight. The United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense with no security, with no anything.
He's just going to be live in 15 minutes, so I could
Do you
probably
wanna
raid
keep it
you over
going
to
for
him, but I
another
need
5
to.
years?
I got to get to work,
Yeah,
man. You got to
yeah,
hurry this up,
you
Trump.
would
I'm going to
say
have to call in
Pocahontas
late.
says yes.
He could go for 4 hours. Pocahontas, wait, what did he say? Hold on, I missed that.
You would say Pocahontas. Keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes.
Oh, look at her trying to.
2,000 people are being killed
Oh, she's
every
so
single
embarrassed
week.
right now. She just
More
died
than that.
inside.
They're Russian young people. They're
She's about to die
Ukrainian
outside.
young people. They're not Americans.
Not looking too good.
But I want it to stop. Meanwhile, Europe has sadly spent more money buying
Nice to
Russian
not
oil
see
and gas
Kamala or Pelosi over
than
there.
they
Oh
have
my
spent
God.
on defending Ukraine.
Isn't it
by
nice
far.
not
Think
to-
of that. They've spent more buying Russian oil and gas than
I
they
saw a
have
meme.
defending. And we've spent
And it was
perhaps
like,
$350 billion.
You wonder why Zelensky was
like
disrespectful of
taking candy
America and
from a
expected
baby.
more
That's
money.
what happened. And they've spent
And it had Kamala and Pelosi
$100
holding a
billion. What
Ukrainian flag
difference that
behind
is.
Zelensky.
And we have
on
an
this
ocean
stage.
separating us.
Remember that?
And they don't. But we're getting along very well with them, and lots of good things are happening. Biden has authorized more money in this fight than Europe
weakest
has spent by
Pelosi,
billions
Kamala, and Biden,
billions
the
of dollars.
weakest
It's hard to believe
state
that
America's
they
ever
wouldn't
been
have
in.
stopped it and said at some point, come on, let's equalize. You got to be equal to us. But that didn't happen. Earlier today, I received an important letter from President Zelensky of Ukraine.
They hate white
The letter
men now.
reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible.
Hey, no
to
problem,
bring
ZT
lasting
Din.
peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians, he said. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's
We're like
strong
10 seconds
leadership
behind now because
to
I
get
went back a little
peace
bit.
that lasts. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. Regarding the
But we're
agreement
not doing
on
it
minerals
anymore
and
if they don't
security,
tighten up.
Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time that is convenient for you. I appreciate that he sent this letter, just got it a little while ago. Simultaneously, we've had serious
Bent the knee.
discussions with Russia and have received strong signals that they are ready for peace. Wouldn't
This
that
is
be
diplomacy.
beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful?
You don't have to go to war and just send money. In fact, all you have to do is say, we're not going to send any money. And they bend the knee. Trump knows how to do this.
Wouldn't that be beautiful?
America's a business. You think Trump can't run a business? Democrats
It's time
will
to
say,
stop
he's been
this
bankrupt.
madness. It's time to halt the killing. It's time to end this senseless war. if you want to end wars, you have to talk to both sides.
I think he'll
Nearly
wrap it
4
up
years
in 10
ago,
minutes.
amid rising tensions, a history teacher named Mark Fogel was detained in Russia and sentenced to 14 years in a penal colony.
They got him out.
Rough stuff.
But we got
The previous
Brittany Grinder out
administration
and traded her
barely
for
lifted
a
a finger
warlord.
to help him. They knew he was innocent,
Instead
but
of
they had
getting
no
this guy-
idea
we got
where
him
to
out, though.
begin. But last summer, I promised his 95-year-old mother, Malphine, that we would
Bro,
bring
you're gonna break
her
her
boy
arm, bro.
safely back
Calm
home.
down.
After 22 days in office, I did just that, and they are here tonight.
– 12 years he was in a Russian prison. Could you imagine?
To Mark and his great mom, we are delighted to have you safe and sound and with us. As fate would have it, Mark Fogel was born in a small rural town in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Oh,
Have you
shit.
heard of it?
Have you
Where
heard of
his mother
Butler?
has lived for the past
You know what else
78
happened in
years.
Butler, Pennsylvania?
I just happened to go there last July 13th for a rally. That was not pleasant.
Yeah, and this is just this story
And that is where I
totally falls
met
off the
his
face of the
beautiful
earth.
mom right before I walked onto that stage. And I told her I would not forget what she said about her son. And
Imagine
I never
if that
did,
bullet-
did I? Never forgot.
He would still
Less
be
than
in
10
jail.
minutes later, at that same rally, gunfire rang out, and a sick and deranged
Hey, thank
assassin
you.
unloaded 8 bullets from his sniper's
Nice,
perch
thank you,
into a
ZT
crowd
Dan.
of many thousands of people. My life was saved by a fraction of an inch, but some were not so lucky. Corey
Thank you, ZT Dan.
Comparator was
I
a
appreciate it.
firefighter, a veteran, a Christian, a husband, a
Oh, yeah, Corey
devoted father,
Comparator.
and
And
above
Destiny
all,
was
a
clapping that he
protector.
died.
When the sound of gunshots pierced the air, it was a horrible sound. Corey knew instantly what it was and what to do. He threw himself on top of his wife and daughters and shielded them from the bullets with his own
Oh,
body.
that's who they are. Damn, I see.
Corey
I made
was
fun of
hit
that lady.
really hard.
I'm sorry
you know
for
the
that.
story from there. He sacrificed his life to save theirs. 2 others, very fine people, were also seriously hit. But thankfully, with the help of 2 great country doctors, we thought they were gone and they were saved. So those doctors had great talent. We're joined by Corey's wife, Helen, who was his high school sweetheart, and their 2 beloved daughters, Allison and Kaylee. Thank you.
Sorry for making fun of Helen. I'm sorry. It was a mistake. I was just in roast mode because of the Democrats. Then I saw her clapping and standing, and I knew she was a nice woman.
To Helen, Allison, and Kaylee, Corey is looking down on his 3 beautiful ladies right now, and he is cheering you on. He loves you. He is cheering you on.
Now, some people would be like,
Corey was taken from us much
how
too
dare
soon,
he say
but
that?
his
He made a
destiny was to
salvific
leave us
claim.
all
A
with
salvific
a
claim.
shining example of the
'cause he said
selfless devotion
their husband's looking
of
down
a
on them
true
from
American
heaven.
patriot.
Lord
it was
forbid.
love like Corey's that built our country, and it's
You
love
know who
like
I'm talking
Corey's
to
that is
if you're
going to
still
make
here.
our country more majestic than ever before. I believe that my life was saved that day in Butler for a very good reason. I was saved by God to make America great again. I believe that. Thank you.
I bet they're kind of also a little pissed though. They're probably thinking, yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna say that.
Thank you very much. From the patriots of Lexington and Concord
There's a.
to the heroes of
I'm sure there's part of
Gettysburg and
them that's like
Normandy,
it should have
from
been
the
you.
warriors who crossed the Delaware to the trailblazers
Can't really
who
blame them
climbed
for
the
that.
Rockies, and from the legends who soared at Kitty Hawk to the astronauts who touched the moon. Americans have always been the people who defied all odds, transcended all dangers, made the most extraordinary sacrifices, and did whatever it took to defend our children, our country, and our freedom. And as we have seen in this chamber tonight, that same strength, faith, love, and spirit is still alive and thriving in the hearts of the American people. Despite the best efforts of those who would try
Regardless
to
of what
censor
was
us,
going on with
silence us,
America,
break
they
us,
lost their
destroy us,
husband and their father. So
Americans are today a proud,
sure
free,
part of them
sovereign,
thinks
and
that.
independent nation that will always be free,
yeah.
and we will fight for it till death. We will never let anything happen to our beloved country, because we are a country of doers, dreamers, fighters, and survivors.
This is the wrap up. We're
Our
going to make America
ancestors
healthy
crossed
again,
the
make
vast
America
ocean,
strong again.
strode into the unknown wilderness and carved their fortunes from the rock and soil of a perilous and very dangerous frontier. They chased our destiny
didn't
across
steal
a
the
boundless
land.
continent.
It was
They built
unclaimed
the railroads,
territory.
laid the highways, and graced the world with American
We had to
marvels
fight cannibals and
like the Empire
savages.
State Building, the mighty Hoover Dam, and the towering Golden Gate Bridge. They lit the world with electricity, broke free of the force of gravity, fired up the engines of American industry, vanquished the communists, fascists, and Marxists all over the world, and gave us countless modern wonders sculptured out of iron, glass, and steel. We stand on the shoulders of these pioneers who won and built the modern age. These workers who poured their sweat into the skylines of our cities. These warriors who shed their blood on fields of battle and gave everything they had for our rights.
Does
and
he
for
even
our
have a
freedom.
prompter?
Now it is our time to take up the righteous cause of American liberty. And it is
Gotta
our
have a
turn
prompter.
to take America's destiny into our own hands and begin the most thrilling days in the history of our country. This will be our greatest era. With God's help, over the next 4 years, we are going to lead this nation even higher, and we are going to forge the freest, most advanced, most dynamic, and most dominant civilization ever to exist on the face of this earth. We are going to create the highest quality of life, build the safest and wealthiest and healthiest and most vital communities anywhere in the world. We are going to conquer the vast frontiers of science, and we are going to lead humanity into space and plant the American flag on the planet Mars and even far beyond.
That was Elon saying, yeah. I don't see prompter. There is. This might be a prompter. Oh yeah, he's got prompters here and here. Okay. I was gonna say that if he's freestyling this, that's
Through it all,
epic.
we are going to rediscover the unstoppable power of the American spirit. And we are going to renew unlimited promise of the American dream. Every single day we will stand up and we will fight, fight, fight for the country our citizens believe in and for the country our people deserve.
With a Bobert. She's a freak. You seen her in the movie theater?
My fellow Americans, get ready for an incredible future, because The golden age of America has only just begun. It will be like nothing that has ever been seen before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless.
Perfect timing, 9 o'clock on the dot. Let's go. Let's go, Trump. Making America great again. Get these people out of here. Get them out of our country.
Well, that was quite a speech, and it was quite a night there in Washington. Watching Newsmax's live coverage. President Trump making history, one emotional moment after another, as he gave a very hopeful, optimistic look.
All right,
at,
stay here for a minute,
the first
guys. Don't
43
leave yet.
days and beyond, saying that America is
I'll
back.
raid you over to
the
easy.
golden age is here, and it's only just begun. But within moments, Democrat lawmakers were interrupting it. Shouts, Congressman Al Green,
the
who
preview's
later
not
said
up
that
yet.
he's already going to now introduce articles of impeachment against President Trump and charge that Mr. Trump is not civil after interrupting the speech. Just really incredible. Ed Henry here with Mercy Slack.
Wait. What did he just say? Talking about that guy?
Who later said Democrat lawmakers were interrupting it. Shouts, Congressman Al Green, who later said that he's already going to now introduce articles of impeachment against President Trump.
And Al Green is that wart frog-looking, toad-looking, foreigner-looking guy. Al Green. He's the one, he said he's going to bring up articles of impeachment against Trump.
And charge that Mr. Trump is not civil after interrupting the speech. Just really incredible. Ed Henry here with Mercy Schlapp, as well as Rick Santorum. And
So
Luke
he was
Ball.
shouting
Mercy,
he's going to
when you look
get
at some of the top
he's going
lines
to bring
here,
up articles of impeachment
this is now
against
history
Trump
as well, because it was
in
the
middle of
longest
the
speech, I think, for a joint session. 1 hour and about 39 minutes, right? And that's longer than Bill Clinton's 1 hour and 28 minutes in 2000.
Longest joint Congress
speech. It was a complete home run. I've watched so many of President Trump's speech, whether at a rally, whether at a former State of the Union. I got to tell you, it was big, bold, inspirational.
Trump said, I need to go for an hour 40. Clinton did an hour 28. I'm going for an hour 40.
I don't know what will. I think the mere fact that he started so strong with America is back. We're moving with swift and unrelenting action. And the American people are seeing this. But then he weaves in these emotional stories.
Yeah.
So when you get to the 13-year-old
Where's Speakeasy? He's
DJ Daniels,
supposed to go live at
that
9
was a
o'clock.
moment where I think it captured all
Trying
of
to raid
America,
you over to
which is
him.
saying, here's you have this young boy who has survived brain cancer.
I'm going to
who is
hang
now
out
a
Easy's after
Secret
that. I know I'm trying to
Service
raid you
agent.
over there, but it's not showing up yet.
I'm telling you, it was really bringing in
Just hang
these
out here, and I'll
American
send you over
people
there.
in these stories, and he was able to just make his pitch, say
hasn't
how
started
much
yet.
he is standing to deliver for the American people, and as he ended, saved by God to make America great again. Really a powerful moment for President
not
Trump,
live yet. It's
and
not
just
showing.
shows you how he's geared up for what's coming in these next 4
so there it
years.
is. Okay, I'll send you over there now.
Time and time
All right,
again,
guys,
he
God
could've
bless.
lost his
Thank you for
cool.
hanging out
He was
2
so
minutes ago.
calm, so direct.
And
your thoughts on the
that was epic, as expected. America is back, baby. Al Green, screw that guy. We need to get that guy out of the country. He's not welcome. They're gonna try to impeach Trump. See if it works this time. Try it again. Try to keep him tied up with impeachments for 4 years. See if that works. It's not gonna happen. We're not playing these games anymore. All right, guys. I got to go to work. I got to walk my dog, and I got to get to work quick. So God bless you guys. God bless America. God bless Trump. Thank you for hanging out, everybody. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out and all the good stuff. And I will see you tomorrow morning. We're going to be back in the book of Numbers in the Bible study. So see you guys later. Peace.